gonna stay here, no. Ain't gonna keep it low. Now, if you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road. I just got an awesome vibe, striking the winner post now. Liberty's on my mind. We've taken off, we've left the ground. You gotta understand that we get one.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I am doing some quick little chicken parmigianas for the freezer, and I thought I'd share it with you guys so you guys can do it too and just have quick and easy go-to meals on those nights where you're like, what am I gonna do? I also like to do these because sometimes when I sort of meal plan schnitzels and veggies or something into the meal plan, I get to that time and I'm thinking, oh, I'd really like to turn these into a parmigiana, and then I either don't have the ingredients and go and get some and then end up maybe spending extra money, which I don't want to, or I just don't want to go leave the house and then I'm like, oh, I wish I'd done parmigianas. So I like to have these done in the freezer when I can. I haven't done them for quite some time, but I like to prep them, have them in the freezer, so it's just a quick go-to to pull them out just for on those nights that I want to have a nice chicken parma. Now you guys can use any chicken schnitzels that you want if you have a preferred brand, any sauce, cheeses, all of that. I'm just showing you what I use today. It's pretty cost effective for me, and that's why I like to use these ones. But yeah, it's open to whatever you want to use at the time. Alright, first little trick I'm going to show you is that I'm using the lids to my containers that are already in the freezer. I'm going to line these with baking paper, and this is what I'm freezing my chicken parmas on before I wrap them. The chicken schnitzels I'm using are the Coles ones. These are around $12 for a pack of 12, so they're a little bit more expensive than what they used to be, but still great value. They now have the Simply branding on them as well, but they seem to be the same ones that I used to always buy. So I think they've just done the Simply branding on here because obviously they're grabbing people's attention with this whole Simply branding change. And if you like their other products, then you're probably going to see this and then want to buy it. So I'm guessing that's why they're doing it, a bit of a marketing sort of situation. But I've always found these are great. They're a great size for us. We add a lot of veggies and salad and things like that on the side when it comes to these. We can use these in wraps, we can use these in salads, we can use these like as a chicken schnitzel burger type thing. We like them for a lot of things, so they're great value, honestly. The health rating is like a 3.5, which not too bad. Obviously it's not just a chicken breast, it's kind of a bit processed obviously. But you can use obviously just a chicken breast if you want to do that. But you just have to be aware when you're cooking them on how you cook them. You really need to cover them, otherwise they're going to burn before the inside's cooked, whereas these, they kind of cook a bit easier. Do you know what I mean? So they're a little bit more convenient for me as far as parmas go. The sauce I like to use is just this Woolworths sauce. It's about $2.70 I think now. It's gone up a bit, but it's the one we love the most for our spaghetti bolognese. You can just use any favourite pasta sauce that you've actually got. This jar is pretty big, it's a 700 grams, so it goes a long way. I'm not going to use all of this today, but I am planning on doing a spaghetti bolognese very soon, so I'm just going to keep the rest in the fridge and then use it, obviously, for when I do the spaghetti bolognese. Otherwise, I have in the past actually put this into like a Ziploc bag and just frozen it, because you have to use it within a certain amount of days. So if you're not going to use it, like use the rest of your jar, just pop it in a Ziploc bag and freeze it, and it's perfectly fine. You can just bring it out when you go to make spaghetti bolognese. And then cheese, I'm using this one here. This is kind of frozen because anytime I buy shredded cheese, I put it in the freezer so it lasts a long time. Even if the bag's open, I just grab out what I need for cooking when I'm doing it. So it works really well doing that. It makes your cheese last a lot longer and you just don't have to worry about mold and things like that. So I've got all my schnitzels down on baking paper, on my whatever you're going to use for tray, just do that. I've just got the pasta sauce jar open like this. I'm just putting a bit on. Some people like to put ham on theirs and stuff. We don't particularly like that, so we don't do it. And we don't like to go too overboard with the sauce either, but you can mix it up. We'll do whatever you like to do it. If you want to add extra ingredients, sometimes in the past I've put pineapple on it because we make them like the Hawaiian parmigianas. We like that, which is probably better when you've got a bit of ham on there too, but our favorite is just the good old plain one, honestly. So I'm just going to put the sauce on all of these. Right, so out of that big jar, you can see I pretty much use probably 3/4 of the jar. So these schnitzels are not very big. So if you have a different preferred pasta sauce that you like and it's a lot smaller than this, maybe you need 2 jars, so just be aware of that. But it really obviously depends on how much sauce you actually put on. We don't go overboard with it, we just like it to have a slight taste. So this is, yeah, this works well for us, this size. Okay, so cheese, again, you kind of want to start from the middle and work out, because otherwise it tends to go everywhere. Just remember the cheese spreads. You don't want to do a massive whole mountain in the middle either, because of the whole freezing thing. So it needs to be fairly sort of flatten into the actual sauce for it to freeze well and not sort of fall apart once you start moving them around. Okay, they're all done. If I have fresh parsley, I love to chop up a little bit of fresh parsley and just sprinkle it on top. That's my favorite thing to do. I don't have any today, so I'm just going to use some of this mixed herbs. Dry. I don't put too much on because the kids don't love it, but it just gives a little bit of extra taste, obviously. So, and also it depends on what sauce you've got, obviously, because a lot of the sauces already have some sort of herb in them. So it just depends what you like. This is just what I like to do. It freezes perfectly fine, and obviously it cooks really well because it melts into the cheese. Alright, so now that we've done this, so obviously they all need to be frozen separately like this. It's going to take probably the whole day. It's the morning right now. I'll leave these in the freezer the whole day until tonight, and then once they are all frozen, I'm going to show you just how I store them, basically. So quick and easy. That took probably 10 minutes. Okay, so they're in the freezer on my make-believe little trays that I've made. So that's why I use the lids. Obviously, it's a perfect thing for me, my chest freezer. You're just going to have to use whatever you've got, depending on the size of freezer you have. You know, maybe you just have the freezer in the top of the fridge. Maybe you can use that if you've got room to sort of freeze them. But, you know, obviously for me, this is just what works best. So I will be back in about 8 to 10 hours. Okay, let's check these out. Oh yes, you just want to make sure the sauce is obviously hard, which it is, and the cheese is stuck in there good, that's gone hard. It's perfect. Alright, I'm going to show you how I actually store them. So storing, I just do it like this. If you have a container that you can put them in and seal them, then that would be fine. If you want to put baking paper between each of them, you could do that, but with the fact that they've been frozen separately, they shouldn't stick together. They should be totally fine. You do want to move fast though, because you don't want anything like defrosting while you're trying to bag these up. So you need to be organized for sure. So this is a normal sandwich size bag, and then this is like a larger version of the sandwich size Ziploc bag, which I just get from Woolworths. That's what I like to do. This one here. So 22 by 25, that's what it is. So it's a good one for like freezer meals and stuff. That's a good size for that. So I generally have something like that on hand. Anyway, they're all done. I'm going to put them in the freezer. Now, when I actually want some to cook for dinner, all I need to do is just pull out however many I want. So for us, it might be 3 to 4, depends if Isabella's going to have parma or not, or just a plain one. But I'll pull them out, put them on a plate, put them in the fridge, and just leave them for the day to defrost while I'm working or doing other things. And then I just put them on a, well, you can put them on a tray or a baking dish and put them in the oven. Probably a baking dish is better because it's got a bit of an edge on it like this. So you don't want the oven too high, obviously, otherwise it'll burn it before it's, you know, cooked it properly. If it's got a higher edge like this, like a casserole dish or something, then it will cook them better, and then it'll just slowly do the top as well. So it won't burn as quite as easy. So that's what I do. Very easy. If you don't have like a casserole dish or a baking dish, then put them on the tray and then maybe just cover them with foil or something for a bit, but know that the cheese will probably stick to it. So yeah, that's what I do anyway. So that's it. That's my frozen chicken parmigianas, quick and easy go-to to just have ready in the freezer. Here's my little chicken parmas for you today, guys. I hope this video gave you some ideas. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys probably tomorrow. Bye.
The things that we'll do, 'cause I